Right, guys, tonight's call is going to be sensational. You're going to absolutely love what we have to show you. I'm going to give you just a little bit. Daisy's made it. Well done, Daisy. I want to give you a little bit of an idea about what's been behind the idea of what we're doing right now. Simon and I have been trying for almost 2 years to come up with an automated prospecting system. We've put tons and tons of effort into trying to find something. We've worked with a couple of people who've come up with systems that they told us were going to be the best things in sliced bread, and they just didn't have the features that we wanted. And to be honest with you, they seem to be little one-man bands that were outsourcing the coding and everything else. When we start talking about that, Simon's eyes glaze over. He hasn't got an idea what I'm talking about. But
okay, I've just literally finished the call. Just come on.
And so have I, but I was on time and you weren't.
Hey, listen, mate. I'm not too sure how many calls you get, but I'm getting bombarded with different stuff. But let me just share with people a lead generation system that I've used in previous companies that have been absolutely crap. And that was a company that was based in Crewe. And I'm not going to say the company name, but they used to turn around and say, oh, these leads only cost $1.50. And we thought, wow, let's buy 1,000 of them. And what they are just a name and a telephone number. And we needed to ask, well, they've got to be over 18, they cannot be a student, and they've got to be working people. And they were crap, absolutely crap. You might as well have just gone to a telephone directory and just picked out a couple of pages and just called those people in the telephone directory. That's as good as that. They weren't leads. They really were not leads. They were just numbers. So I didn't want to get involved in anything like that. So I was speaking to my son, Fraser. I don't know if any of you know who Fraser is, my son, Fraser Brooks. And I said, the biggest problem with network marketing, Fraser, is lead generation. Everybody, when they join, they make their list, and they make their list of 3 people, and they think, whoopee, 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 I've got my list of people, but none of them want to join. Well, you can't make your fortunes with just 3 people. So he turned around and said to me, he's working with a company that's producing lead generation. And I said, really? I said, a little bit like the one that we use? He said, nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. This company works for big companies. Now, I'm not going to tell you the names of the companies. I'll let them do that. But I said, okay, give me the number. Now, I spoke to Fraser going back 6 months ago, and he never gave me the guy's number. And time was going on, and time was going on, and I hammered it to Fraser. I said, listen, I don't give a shit how busy you are. I need John Preston's number. So then he turned around and set a little group up with me on Messenger with John, me, and him. And I then I actually looked at joining John's program, but I was just one of a number, and I was cannon fodder. And John wouldn't have even seen me, heard me, or whatever. So then I reached out to John personally, and we're now here. So what I would now like to do, and I don't even know, is John on? Have you seen John? He is, okay. So without any further ado, I've been working with John now for about the last month or so. And I'm impressed, and I don't impress easily, as you might well know. But I tell you now, John's company, with what he does and how he does it, impresses the stuffing out of me. So rather than me tell you any more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to the developer and owner of the company, John Preston. John, take it away.
Thank you very much, Simon. Great to be here. Nice to see everyone. You've also got Ollie Burgess, who's my business partner on the call tonight. So you've got both of us tonight, double trouble. And as Simon said, to say he's pulled some serious strings to make this happen is something of an understatement. We have got a queue of, it must be 10 businesses, absolutely top level leaders, actually paid up and waiting to go on this. And Simon has twisted Fraser's arm to twist my arm to come and do this. And you know, I work with Fraser all the time. I do a lot of Fraser's messenger stuff. But you know, we do work with people like New Skin, World Ventures. And I'm talking at the very, very top level. We don't work with people who are kind of, you know, individual network marketers. We create big systems for big players. So that's where we are. New Skin, World Ventures, IntelliTravel, Forever Living, Isogenics, ASEA, Oriflame, Avoria Prime, a new one, which is just coming out. So the list goes on and on and on and on. And there is a queue of people lining up for this. And I'm going to show you, it's just a really short presentation, but it's going to show you why they are queuing up for it and why it's so cool that you've jumped the queue and you're getting it before all of them. So I'm going to show you now, this is really quick, and then I'm going to show you an example of one that we've already got working, but you're going to be getting kind of version 4.0. Literally, we're redeveloping our servers, we're redeveloping our website side of this. So what I'm showing you now is amazing, but what you're getting is better than this. Okay, so even we're excited to see it. Now I'm going to start. Who's in charge?
Me, I'll sort it. So, okay,
you can't share your
just
screen.
made you host.
Excellent. Right. Okay. So I'm going to get to the presentation first of all. That's where we'll start. Okay. Can everyone see that now? I'm going to take all the pictures away. So if there's any questions as we're going through this, Roger, do you want to be, or Simon, do you want to be in charge of questions and shout them out as we're going? Because I'm not going to be looking at any of the chat because I'm
I'll make notes on that.
On this, yeah. But any
questions in the chat box, guys.
Yeah, feel free to ask anything. So this is all about the way that people connect with businesses always mirrors the way that people connect with each other. I'm going to come back to this exact statement and explain what that really means as we just get a little bit further on. Now let's talk about Facebook. And this is the number of monthly active Facebook users worldwide up to the end of last year. And when I say Facebook users, I mean the Facebook wall. So where you see what your friends are doing, everyone complaining about lockdown, bad haircuts. Not me, mine's been the same literally all the way through this. But at the end of 2019, we were at 2.36 billion monthly active users. So there's a lot of them. Now this is the number of mobile phone app users worldwide from 2016. Now at the end of 2019, it was there at 2.18 billion altogether. Now these platforms are Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram Direct, WeChat, if anyone knows the Chinese market. So all of those put together. We expected, or the prediction was, that in 2020, it would go to 2.34 billion, so level with the amount of people actually using the Facebook platform. Now, COVID-19 has changed all of that. And literally, just Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp alone are probably at about 3 billion monthly active users. Everyone is online now. Everybody's there. Everybody is using messaging apps. Facebook's actual vision, and get this, they are looking to put together Facebook Messenger, Instagram Direct, and WhatsApp into one unified platform. They will all work off the same thing. They're also looking at putting in their own blockchain. This is going to be everything. When I mentioned the WeChat Chinese model before, if you've ever seen that, that's everything. It's the state-owned Chinese system. It's business to business. It's person to person. It's business to person. It's payments. It's contracts. It's emails. It's everything. And that is where Facebook's plan is going for the Messenger platform. And this comes back to the way that people connect with businesses always mirrors the way that people connect with each other. Your prospects, the people that you want to bring into your business to make you more money, are already there on Messenger. They are digitally hanging out there. So it makes perfect sense to market to them where they are already comfortable and used to being. Now, think back to email marketing when that first came out. And email marketing, well, email was used for people were emailing each other, businesses were emailing each other, businesses were emailing customers for things like order confirmations, but then marketers got hold of it and it absolutely exploded and it was insanely good. These days, it's not as effective. I would never say don't do email marketing, but messenger marketing is a minimum of 80 times more effective than email marketing. The open rates that we see on this are anywhere from 80 to 100% open rate. The click-through rates are anywhere from 60 to 100%. Compare that to a really good email list, 20% open rate, and a really good click-through rate would be 20% of the 20% that opened. And that's top end. So this year, messenger marketing and chatbots are the secret weapon, especially in network marketing. People are going crazy for it. It's probably not a secret anymore because I just told you about it. So introducing, and you will have seen this when you signed up on our other page, the Winners Circle DiVA. Now, DiVA stands for Digital Virtual Assistant. And what this is going to do for you, and after this slide, we're going to actually get into it and have a look at what it is. This is something that's going to allow you to prospect in your sleep. There is no need to deal with the people who aren't interested, who can't afford it, who are tire kickers, who just press buttons on stuff because they've got nothing better to do with the time. You just need to feed people in, invite people in an organic way. There is a paid traffic version way as well, which I'll come on to later. But bring people in at one end of this system and just deal with hot, qualified prospects at the other time. And it's not that you've got to wait till the next day and maybe you'll get a list of people who've responded to whatever you're doing. The moment that somebody goes through this, answers all the questions, which again, I'll talk about in a little while, and actually qualifies and says they are interested in speaking to you, you are told that second. So from your prospect's point of view, it's an individual journey. It's not back to the old days where you've sent someone a 45-minute business presentation and fingers crossed they can pick out of that what's relevant. This is all about them. This is nothing, sales are nothing to do with you. It's about your prospect and what difference it's going to make to them. So we actually take them through a process which is all about them understanding where they are and what they want to change and what they want to achieve, and then asking them if you can help them achieve that. And literally, it's crazy the amount of people that just go for it with this. So we're going to come off the presentation. Are you ready to, are there any questions with regards to the sort of setting the scene, or do you just want to get in and have a look at what you're signing up for?
Go, they get the same.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to head over to my phone screen, because 95% of people will do this from the phone. So it works on desktop, absolutely fine. But I'm going to show you on the phone because that's just the best experience. That's what it's designed for. And that's where everyone is spending all the time. So just waiting to connect. Right, so you can see my phone screen?
Yep.
Yep. Right, so I'm going to head into Messenger, and I'm going to go to this one. This is an older version, but we're going to get the idea. Now, when we first started setting these up, we did a very basic version of this, and it was in the form of a template where we'd say, well, we'll put it on your business page, and we'll install this for you. But we kind of underestimated how non-technical a lot of people are. So we've made a system that literally you can be up and running and prospecting within 2 minutes maximum. So I'm going to go through the setup process now and show you how easy it is. So on this one, we've got warm and cold market flows. So warm market flow is people who you kind of already know, so they don't really need a great deal of qualification. And cold market, who go through more of a journey, they have to answer more questions. You don't want everyone to qualify because then the leads will just be no good, but you want people to be bought into what you're doing. But I'm going to create a cold card now. So you see, this is one of our forever living ones. First thing we're going to do is take your phone number. So we'll hit get started. Now, you've been telling Facebook all of your personal details for many years. So Facebook actually knows my phone number already. All I need to do, I don't need to type it in, I just need to tap it. If you want to change your phone number, you can type your phone number in. But that's my number, so there we go, done. So that was easy. Next bit, take a selfie. You can upload from your gallery if you've got pictures which don't make you look like death, just like this one is going to. So there we go. There's the first one. So we've taken a selfie. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a video introduction to this. This is so personal without you actually having to introduce yourself to people. So cold prospects are going to be able to get an idea about who they're dealing with. So let's make our video. So back into the camera, and this, sorry, and this is just a demo video. And there we go. So you would put in a 20-30 second introduction about you and a little bit of a taster about the business, and that's it. That's me set up. I'm ready to start my prospecting now, and I'll show you how we do that prospecting. And there's a few ways that we can do it. We store all of this off on our server. These images don't save forever if you leave them in Messenger, so we keep them elsewhere. So we'll go back to this main menu where everything comes from. And I'm going to go back to this invite and share DiVA. And before I show you the finished product, there's a few ways we can share this. So we've got a URL, and this is totally specific to you. So when you go in and do this and create this URL, it's going to be unique to you. So anyone that you invite to this is always tied to you. Somebody else can't come and steal that prospect within the system. They are your prospect forever. The other thing that we can do, and these URLs, I mean, you can use these anywhere. So in emails, on Facebook posts, in groups, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Tinder, you can put it where you like. You know, it's anywhere you can use a link, you can put this. QR codes. So remember the days when we were allowed out? This was, you know, QR codes are amazing. So say you went, did anyone used to go to kind of trade shows or business events, and you would wander around these events and you would collect a load of business cards, or you would give a load of business cards out. And when you'd say go home and you'd look in your jacket or your pocket a couple of weeks later on, and there's a load of business cards, and you can't remember who they were from or what they were for, and you probably stick them in the bin. I've probably got a drawer full of these things now. And the same is happening to your business cards. Literally, all you need to do is get people to scan it with the camera, and that's it. It brings them into your system. You prospected them. You can just keep on talking to them. You don't need to worry about whether they're going to do anything with your business card. They are now your subscriber. They're on your list. These can be used actually on business cards as screensavers. You know, any way you like, on banners, leaflets, whatever. And then the actual card itself. So let's have a look at viewing the card. And this is exactly what I've just made. So if I hit the welcome video, that's the video I've just made. Now, if you've got someone specific that you're going to send this to, you could create a video just for them, send this to them, and then put your original kind of generic video back in there. So it's totally flexible. You can edit any part of this at any time you like. And watch how easy it is for me to prospect. So there we go. I'm going to send Ollie Burgess, who's I think he's a good prospect. He's not. He's rubbish. I'm going to send that to him. And there we go. That's me prospecting. I don't need to do anything. I only need to worry about Ollie when he's gone through the process and he's a qualified prospect. So he can say whatever he likes. He can say I can't afford it. He can say anything. It doesn't matter because I don't get to see that until he said I want to know about this business. So you're only dealing with qualified prospects. When somebody clicks learn more, they then go through that flow that I was just talking about, that series of questions. And those questions are along the lines of, what's your current situation? Are you working full-time? Are you working part-time? Are you unemployed? And then what would you like to change? What would you like to achieve? We could wave a magic wand and grant you a wish. What would that be? Is it more money? Is it time freedom? Is it more travel? Is it, a major purchase? All these sort of things. And then we can ask, well, okay, what sort of figure each month would you need to be earning extra to start making a difference and start seeing this happen? And then they can specify an amount of money. And then we're going to use a bit of NLP and actually bring this back to them and say, okay, so you just told me, Ollie, that you're working part-time and you would love to take the family away on holiday. And to start making that happen and to make a difference for you and your family, you would like to start earning an extra $1,000 a month. Now, if I could show you a way that you could achieve this, and I can help and support you and train you and to get to that, would you be interested in exploring this opportunity? And at that point, everyone goes, yes. And you, as the business owner, can then, you're then told you've got a prospect, you've told someone who's gone through your system, you're told their current work situation, you're told what they want to achieve, how much they want to earn. We'll go on to ask them how they want to communicate with you, whether it's in Messenger or whether it wants to be on the phone or anything like this. And so you can have a phone number as well, and you'll know in real time. And what would happen, I would get a notification within Messenger here. And when we go back to main menu, you'll see here a member area. This is going to be called a prospect area, and it's going to look really cool. This for us doesn't look great at the moment. So you're going to have the newest version of this, which looks totally slick, is totally branded to you. And when I look in here, I can see these are the people that I've invited this to. So I can see that these people have not qualified, but Mark there has. So I can see his Facebook profile, his name. I can make notes about him. So he's working part-time, wants to replace his income, this sort of thing. We can add tags. We'll have more tags in there, so we can have various tags about whatever we decide to put in. I can see when he qualified. I can send him a voice note. Now, this doesn't work on iPhones at the moment because Facebook and Apple fell out. So right now it doesn't work on iPhones, but you can do it on desktop. You can do it on Android. And then we also have a chat function. So rather than you having to be chatting in Messenger, because there's kind of rules and regulations around Facebook, you're not chatting in there. You're chatting off on your own separate area. But you don't need to download anything. This is all there for you. Okay, so that's the basics of how you're prospecting, but there's more than that. So let's have a look at the support and training area. Shall we have a look at team co-ops first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So who has run Facebook ads? And for those of you that have run Facebook ads, who has lost money on Facebook ads? Yeah, who's had Facebook ad accounts closed down? You know, you're in a space which is not supported by Facebook as far as advertising. Now, we are full-time professional marketers and Facebook ad buyers. So we have something in here, which is a Facebook ad co-op. Now, what you can do is join with the rest of the people in your team, or in this case, in the advanced party in the special beta group, to be first into an ad co-op where you don't need to have your own business page, you don't need an ad account, you don't need to worry about the ad creatives, you don't need to worry about the targeting, you don't need to worry about getting anything banned, and you don't need to have a massive budget for it. But imagine if you could reserve a spot in this for about, they're all closed, this is closed at the moment, but you'd be able to go in and buy like 1 share up to 5 shares of about £50. Now, I wouldn't run an ad campaign for anyone for 50 quid, but you could all join together and have one big campaign, and then those leads are shared out in order in real time. So you can actually start having paid leads coming in to your prospects area, and then as they qualify, get straight onto it. So, you know, realistically, you know, you should be able to be covering your subscription to Momentum easily with this. Let's have a look at other things in here. Video libraries. So what else have we got? Yeah, okay. So there's various bits and pieces. This fella. So you've got an exclusive. This is something he made especially for us. 5 days boot camp of just actionable content. Just get in there, take action. Take action every day. You're going to be making money. It's that simple. And here's a 5-day. Do this today. Do this tomorrow. Do this the next day. All there for you. Keynote speeches from Association of Network Marketing Professionals. Those are all in there for you. We can put training in there from Simon and Roger, leaders within your organization, about what to do when you get prospects, about the business, about the products, about how to onboard clients. All of this is going to be in there for you. So it's just it's so much more than a chatbot. It's just a massive resource that's there for you. You can put your Facebook profile in there if you want to connect with people in there personally. Add your Facebook profile, and that will be added to all of your contact details. We have just some help to navigate around the system, so you could just keywords and type in certain things, or you can navigate through the menu. And then if you get stuck, we realize that some people are not as conversant in some of this technology or setting up. We've got support, and you'll find that, you know, I jump in as much as I can do, but Ollie really gets hold of this. He's absolutely crazy in the time he puts in helping people out and getting on Zoom calls and making sure that everyone's got everything they need to be making this successful, and making it a product, you know, making it a system that you can just go out there and use easily. You know, 5 minutes a day you can be prospecting, and then just speaking to hot qualified prospects at the end of it. So that's, there's even more to it, but it's just, there's more and more. You know, we do things like mobile wallet technology, which is not even based on here, which is added to it. So being able to do push notifications to people's lock screens, it's such a massive system. We're so pleased with it, and really can't wait for you to start getting hold of it and giving us a load of feedback on it, because that's, from our point of view, the fact that you're on this beta, you're the advanced party, we want feedback from you. We want to know what it is that's working for you, what needs changing. Is there something that you would like to see added to it? Is there something functionality that you would like to see added to it? You know, we will take all of your ideas and always try and make those happen for you. So that's your overview. That's your networking and lead generation tool. It's organic, or it's paid, or it's both, and it's so simple to use, but it is incredibly effective.
Fantastic, John. Much appreciated. Great presentation. So I'm going to start running through the questions and answer them. Can you do me one favor? Can you just make me host again, because there's a little bit later on I want to switch something over. Some of these questions I know the answers to, but I want you to give them if you don't mind. So first one came from Ida, and Ida lives in Denmark, and the question was, she said, it looks awesome. Can we make like different videos in different languages?
Your video can be in any language you like.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put content in there, the areas which have got video trainings in them tend to be, they will just be in one language. But if you've got a big team over in a different area, there's no reason why we can't just say, my cat was just about to knock everything right off there. Just caught it there.
Don't you love it when things go live?
He does this regularly. There's no reason, if there is a need for some foreign language videos and content in there because it's required by the team, we can do that. Big time we can do it.
Okay, right. I have a question from Tammy. I know the answer, but again, question is this just specific to the winner circle and IM, or can this be used with other companies that other people might be in as well? Simon asked me something like this a few minutes ago.
Do you want to answer that, Simon? You put it
don't know, because he'll swear. He'll swear.
Yeah, let me unmute myself. Yeah. No swearing. No, this is going to be a cleaning presentation. Well, I did a Facebook post, Tammy, and I put a message out there saying that we've designed the best lead generation system going. And I had a guy that I've known for many years, who's in networking, been in networking for 20 years, gave me a call and said, can I use this lead generation for my wife's skincare company? I said, yes, certainly, as long as she likes selling Forex. It's like, it's going to be designed purely for our business. So if they want to use our lead generation, feel free. They're just going to be promoting our industry.
We just have to say the short answer, Tammy, was that this is specifically, not even specifically for IM, this is specifically for the winner's circle. Yeah. And when it came to funding the cost of creating this, Simon's dumped up the money for this. Nobody else. Not IM. Simon Brooks did this. And in fact, John, can you just, we had a conversation before this started, can you give people an idea about how much, how long, if another company comes to you today and says, I want this and we're prepared to pay you, how long will they have to wait for it?
I suspect it's probably going to be about 3 months now.
Yeah. So these guys are getting this purely on the basis of our conversations, and largely Simon, A, because he paid for it, but B, also because of the connections with Fraser and how hard he pushes largely.
Yeah, because he doesn't take no for an answer, does he?
No, he doesn't. No, doesn't. So really, this is just us, and there isn't another team in IM that has access to this. And I meant to tell you guys this before John and Ollie, we were talking, and I didn't get this in. We have a guy within IM in a different team who uses ManyChat coupled with Facebook advertising. And I suspect he's a bit good at it because in the last 4 years, he's personally sponsored 2,000 people. He's putting 10 people a week into his business consistently for 4 years using a tool that I don't think will be as advanced as this, because ManyChat itself, as good as ManyChat is, it's not as sophisticated as what we have, is it?
No. ManyChat is, ManyChat is awesome. I've been with them since the very beginning. ManyChat is the tip of the iceberg. It's the customer-facing side of it.
Yeah.
But we're doing an awful lot on the back end as well with that information.
Okay, so let's go back to the questions and just run through the questions. So Daisy said, and you actually answered this as we're going along, but let's reiterate it. So Daisy said, do you need a business page for this, or can it be done in the personal profile?
No, everything runs off one business page, which is the central business page. So you don't need a business page, you don't need an ad account.
So it's not Daisy's business page, it's not my business page or Simon's business page. It's a central Winner Circle DiVA business page.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, right. Okay, so
but you can use the links and anything like that anywhere. So if you want to put something on a personal page with your link, that will bring people back very specifically to you within the Winner Circle DiVA.
So you can link it from your own personal page.
You can indeed.
Yeah. Okay. So in your profile where it says links, you can put that in there.
Yep.
And rather than send it to Messenger, can send it to this.
Well, it will be Messenger, but it will be
but via the system rather than send it directly to your own Messenger.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need to mess around with people who are just going to drain your time away.
Okay. Right. So, question from Andy Brown: could part of the qualification process send them to a webinar of Brandon so that they know exactly what the business is about and therefore they're totally qualified? We had a conversation about this last week, and we were talking about videos that you can put in it. Well, first of all, what's your thoughts on the idea of sending them to a video? Because that means sending them out of.
It does, yes. So the way that these work really, really well is once you've got somebody to say, yes, I'm interested in the business, because that's taking a step backwards. Here's my presentation. Go and have a look at this before we go any further. That's not what this is about. This is about them. This is about the prospects. So once you've got them to that stage where they've told you all of that information, said they want to know more, they've told you how they want to communicate with you, you can then go and say, whilst I'm going to be in touch with you really soon. In the meantime, it will be really useful if you could go and watch this video. So we can have a link there, which will open up in YouTube or Vimeo or wherever you decide to host it, where they can go and watch that video. So that content can definitely be there, but it just needs to be in the right place.
Okay.
So, it's great. It's really handy if they've got to that point and they've watched the video.
Yeah. Okay. Tammy again says, how much storage or data does this require?
From whose point of view?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand it either, to be honest with you. I mean, it doesn't require anything from our point of view, does it?
It requires a load from our point of view.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, you can deal with that. That's your problem.
Yeah.
But nothing at all from Tammy's point of view as a user of the system.
No, nothing.
Right.
No,
okay.
there's nothing to download. It's totally web based.
So just a thought that I got, and that is that the Winner Circle DiVA, is that an app that we're going to have on our phone?
No, it would be classed as a web app.
Right. So
you've got Messenger.
Yeah.
And when I click that button to go to that members prospect area, it opens up in something called web views. So it's a window within a window.
So I would find DiVA in my Messenger app.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't go to a website to view you'd go to DiVA, you'd hit main menu, prospect area, and there it is. There's no storage, there's nothing to download, there's nothing to bookmark.
To find it in the first instance, I'm just going to look in Messenger on my phone.
Correct. Everything is in Messenger.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Paul Bradford, I know what your answer is going to be to this one as well. Paul Bradford says, what are Team Co-op conversion rates?
How good are you at converting?
Simon, how good are you converting? Actually, Simon asked a question. Simon, go on, your question.
Okay, if I had 10 people, 10 prospects,
yeah,
and I've got people going through the flow, How many of those 10 would I
That
hope
wasn't
to... Say again.
that wasn't the question I was thinking of. You asked the question before. Can I just change that around a little bit, because John, I know John's answer is going to be how good are you at closing, but John, you asked a question of John, and you said, if I've got someone brand new to this business and they need to get 2 new distributors so that their subscription is free, the question was, can this business generate 2 prospects for them?
Mm.
John, your answer.
Yes. Oh yeah, it would be a horrendous failure on our part if we run an ad cop for you, and you know you'd get far more qualified leads than that. So, you know, if you got 10 leads, I mean, how many out of 10 can you convert of these qualified leads?
And we talked through a couple of days ago. We talked through with all of you guys on the video, and when we first talked about this, we talked through the possibilities of. We talked through numbers, and we said what would happen if we were getting 10 people through, and some people, once they've actually come through the chatbot sequence and they've arrived with you as a hot lead, then all we've got to do is invite them onto a Zoom, and that's our own funnel. That goes outside of the system by then.
Mm-hmm.
As we go into that, once we go outside of the system, Genevieve, can you mute yourself, please? Once we go out of the system, it's out of John and Ollie's control. But once we go out of it, we take them into a Zoom, we have our own process. And I think, just as John was saying about videos that we can include, Simon, I think you and I'll do a video about the funnel, about how we get people onto 3-way calls, and how we get people from 3-ways and take them further on then. And we'll close them after that. But realistically, I ran through numbers with all you guys the other days and said to Simon, if we brought 6 leads out the other end, what's the chances of finding 3 people out of 6? And Simon's answer was he'd get 5.5 out of 6.
Yeah.
I think the half is going to be really messy. I don't want to sign them up.
The half looks very ugly.
Yeah.
I would be disappointed if I couldn't get 5 out of 6.
But realistically, because these are hot prospects, your conversion rate is going to be way, way better. So I'm going to carry on scrolling through some of these. So that's a good question from Andy Brown. How often would ad campaigns run? And I don't understand the rest of it, Andy, but what's the potential qualified lead per share? I think I do.
Okay, so cost per lead. So the co-ops tend to run about every 2 weeks. So I will aim for each co-op campaign to be a 2-week campaign.
Okay.
You're then down to it's always a bit of a tricky one saying, well, the cost per lead is this, because if I say you're going to be going, well,
you said
it'd be this. It's Facebook. It changes all the time. There's certain times of year where it's really expensive. We've just gone through a time when it's really cheap. Cost per leads generally tend to come in somewhere between $1.50 to $4 for a messaging conversation. So a lead would generally be coming in at probably between $3 to $5.50.
Yeah. And we were giving you, when we were having this conversation the other day, we were talking at the top end of that price when we discussed the numbers with you guys. So we can't pin anyone down on that, because it is really a question of how long is a piece of string. Question from Kev: is there a limit to the amount of messages that can be sent per month?
No.
Okay. Right, so let's scroll through. Good question. We go through. Right, here we go. How soon, once the system's been beta tested, will the system be ready to spread down to our teams?
That is in the hands of you guys.
Okay. Right. As far as we're concerned, I mean, we're going to want to get it out as quickly as possible, but we want to give, I think, conversations that we have between ourselves, we were thinking that the rest of the teams are likely to be a couple of weeks behind these guys. So does that sound fair and reasonable? John, Ollie?
Roger, it's entirely.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously we've got the exclusive group here.
Yeah.
We'd like a short while to make sure that there's no bugs in the system, that we're testing it, that it's exactly the right product for you.
Right.
But you know what? It's your system.
Yeah.
You guys have got the controls on this one.
Okay. Right. A question from Lewis: Is this duplicatable for our entire downline team?
Yeah.
Yep. That's the whole purpose of it, really, isn't it? So John said, yeah. Question from Andy Brown. John said he wouldn't run a £50 ad campaign for one person, but he would if we all pulled them together. So, yeah. If one person. So the question here, from as I read it, John, is assuming no one else wants to share, what would be the minimum cost of running an ad campaign?
So realistically, a 2-week. What if nobody else wants to share? So
if it
just
were one
person
person paying for an ad campaign,
then we're all doing something very wrong.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't run it on that. I suppose the very minimum really we want to be running a campaign for a fortnight for is probably around the $300 mark.
Right. Okay. All right. So question from Sab: Who creates the ads?
That would be me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you'll create the copy and the graphics for it.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, and I work really closely with Vincenzo, who's Fraser's business partner. So we work really closely on our campaigns.
Good. Perfect. Okay. So next question again. Kev asks, can this be used on Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And from Brian, can we make offline business cards or brothers to go to the system? I'm not quite sure what brothers means, Brian.
So if you made an offline business card, you could put that QR code on the back of the business card. You know, so say you're in an area where it's got no signal. By all means, give people a business card. Like I was saying with email, traditional marketing methods, it's not let's throw everything else out. It's let's just add something really powerful to our toolkit.
Okay. All right. Angela wants to know, do you just message people in your friends list? What's the number of friends you need to be effective?
Well, I suppose the more people, you know, this is a numbers game. So the more people that you feed into it, the more people that will come out the other end.
Yeah.
You know, I literally had this before. This was when we first started doing these systems, and someone came back to us, and it wasn't ad cops or anything like this. It was just a kind of digital business card setup. And she came back to us and said, "This is a complete bust for me. It's not working at all." And so Ollie went to her, "How many people have you invited to it? How many people have you sent it to?" "Well, no one." So these things are amazing. They work incredibly well. But you know, if you're in network marketing, you've kind of got to do the networking bit. So we'll do the marketing bit. You've got to do the networking bit.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Fleur says, is there a maximum number of slots per ad campaign?
No.
No maximum?
No. We would normally sort of limit it to around 200, but we do have very strict with the cut-off time because we just need to finalise the budgets.
Okay. All right. Lena asks, can it be used on LinkedIn?
Yeah. Yeah, the URL can be used on LinkedIn.
Right. So the URL can be used on LinkedIn.
URL can be used anywhere.
Right. Okay. So equally, you could put this on YouTube. You can put it anywhere you want, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's gone through all the questions that everyone has in there. I've got a question that came up to me from whilst you were running through the overview, and you said something didn't work on Apple. Is that just the voice messaging that doesn't work on Apple?
Yeah, it's very specifically voice messages. So if you go to a business page, so if you look at a conversation you've had with a friend and you've got an iPhone, you'll see there's a microphone. If you go to a business page purely on an iPhone, you will not see a microphone. So there's something in the code that isn't right. It works on desktop, it works on Mac, it works on Android. It's one of those things that we just cannot do anything about with the voice note.
Yeah, I mean, if Apple and Android, Apple and Facebook are fighting it out, that's completely out of your control.
They are a bit, and there's a lot of back-end code changes as far as Facebook Messenger is concerned to make that super platform integration go on.
Yeah.
So the slimming down Messenger and slimming down WhatsApp and slimming down Instagram.
Yeah.
So that they can all fit them all together, so the code is the same on the back end of them.
Yeah. Okay.
If it ever changes, Roger, we will bring it back in. If it ever changes, we will bring it straight back.
Actually, we wouldn't need to bring it back in because it would automatically be available on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Couple more questions popping up. Brian Belton asks, I work for OpenReach and they have Workplace by Facebook. Can I transfer it across to Network through my colleagues?
You can use it. This is the URL. So anywhere that you can put a link, you can put this.
Yeah. So this is old school. So Brandy says, Andy Brown says, could I take out an ad page in a local paper and just put a massive QR code? Yeah, that's yeah. Well, newspaper advertising worked for us years ago, didn't it, Simon? Not quite sure about, but that's going backwards as well. But okay, guys, you have a huge amount of answers. John, Ollie, thank you. Really, really do appreciate it. We appreciate, first of all, the fact that you pushed us to the front of the queue. So big thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
We also truly appreciate the fact that we've actually got you guys doing it, because as I was saying at the beginning of this, Sam and I have been trying to work with other people over the last couple of years, trying to come up with people to come up with some sort of prospecting system, and everyone's fallen down, and we've had developers who just scratched their head and didn't understand what we were talking about and what we wanted. This gives us what we want. So phenomenal for that. Thank you very much.
Well, I think it's worth pointing out as well that Simon and Roger have actually shown them. Yeah, well, I've shown them some live accounts and the numbers, the actual stats of cold traffic going through them. So this is not just me saying it. They've seen the actual stats of this.
Well, I am going to do something right now, just for a second, if you don't mind. I'm going to stop recording this right